First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers at Asbar for all of their work that they have put into organizing this conference and providing all of the support, all of the sponsors, and in particular, I want to thank the members of the panel with whom I share the podium today. It's indeed an honor to be able to present to you this morning. What I'd like to do this morning is just talk very briefly about the role that research universities play in economic development. And secondly, how governments can help support those objectives. And I'm going to do this briefly by giving you some very specific examples aimed at bridging research results with economic development. As was mentioned, I'm the provost at University of California, Merced. It is the newest public research university in the United States. It's part of the 10-campus University of California system, including other campuses such as Berkeley and Los Angeles, San Diego, etc. We are the fastest growing campus and the most diverse, culturally diverse campus in the entire UC system. And within the last 3 months, we just began a $1.5 billion public-private partnership to expand to double the size of the campus in the next 4 years. What I'd like to present is some basic information about research and the importance of research in economic development and the partnership that universities, research universities, have with government agencies. And I'm going to use as an example programs that have been provided and continue to be provided by the National Science Foundation. Prior to coming to the University of California, Merced, I served for 4 years as the head of the engineering directorate at the National Science Foundation. But I want to make it very clear today, I'm not here to speak on behalf of the National Science Foundation, but simply to tell you about some of their public programs. Saudi Arabia is not the only economy that's asking how one can use technology to improve its overall economic stature. This has been an issue that the United States has faced for many years, and in particular, in the last 20 years, we have been at a trade deficit in all areas, all basic areas of advanced technology. So this is an issue that is not foreign to the United States and certainly a challenge for all of us. To address that issue, university research is a key. We have often talked about this forum as being a knowledge forum. Knowledge is the creation of ideas, and the generation of ideas often happens within the context of research universities. Faculty are involved in basic research to generate these ideas, but basic research is insufficient for overall economic development. Some element of translational research, that is the ability to translate those research activities into potential commercial benefit, is important. Also important is an open environment for experimentation and the understanding that often the pathway to success goes through failure at times and the need to try again. Many successful businesses have had in its history examples of failure in the pathway to success. And of course, an open access to investment capital. I'm only going to focus on the research, both the basic and research aspects in this particular talk. Others today will speak about others. There are a number of programs within the National Science Foundation whose primary objective is to support basic research in science and engineering that also address translational research. And the items listed in red are ones that I'm going to very briefly describe this morning. The Engineering Research Centers, the Industry University Cooperative Research Centers, the Small Business Innovation and Tech Transfer Programs, and I will very briefly talk about that because my colleague Andy Toole will speak in more detail there. And then finally, a new program that was started in 2011 at the National Science Foundation, the Innovation Corps. I also want to mention that while I use these examples, there are many other examples through other government agencies in the United States that offer support for large-scale research centers. Not only the National Science Foundation, but the National Institute of Health, The Department of Energy, the Department of Defense, and others are also involved in supporting these ideas. The Industry University Cooperative Research Centers began over 40 years ago at the National Science Foundation. One of the key aspects to those centers are that they are both financially and technically supported by industry consortia. We heard the previous speaker refer to the importance of identifying technology sectors, and this is an example of where specific technology sectors can support translational research in a university environment. Currently, there are about 75 centers throughout the United States, and many of them have industrial partners. Another example, the Engineering Research Centers also was initiated a number of years ago at the National Science Foundation in 1984. They provide a fixed 10-year award period from the National Science Foundation, but most of those centers, even after the 10-year NSF support is expired, continue because they have support from outside, primarily from industry partners. They involve multiple universities, and most of them also have industrial partners. And there has been a number of studies that provide direct evidence of a multi-billion-dollar economic impact from the results that have generated from these centers. And as with the Industry University Cooperative Research Centers, the National Science Foundation Engineering Research Centers are found all throughout the United States. There have been almost 70 funded since its beginning, and many are still operational. Just to give you a quick example of some of the high impact that these engineering research centers have had, they were the primary genesis for the nickel aluminum underlayer that is key to most all memory devices that are used in electronic devices these days. And one of the centers at the University of California, Berkeley, developed one of the key pathways to a synthetic formation of an anti-malarial drug, artemisinin. So these are just two quick examples of the economic impact that these research centers have had. The SBIR, or Small Business Innovation Research Program, was another program that was started in the National Science Foundation in 1982. It is now a program that is found in 11 federal agencies, and in its history, over $40 billion has been provided to essentially incentivize research activities to form small businesses. And as I said, Andy Kuhl will be talking in more detail about that. One point I wanted to make about the SBIR program at the National Science Foundation. This is a pie chart that simply shows the amount of funding for SBIR programs from the various agencies. And as you can see, the National Science Foundation, or NSF, only provides a relatively small fraction of the total support. But that money is particularly important because it goes to all areas of technology. Unlike other agencies, such as defense or engineering, they don't focus on one particular mission, but they can provide a broad area of support for almost every area of technology. Finally, I wanted to mention a program that was started in 2011 called the Innovation Corps program. This was initiated to answer a very basic question. Given that the National Science Foundation invests $7 billion a year in basic research, will any of that basic research lead to potentially commercializable products? And there are three elements to this program. It provides modest seed funding. It provides, most importantly, an educational component on how to launch a startup, and it provides a cohort-based program so that one can learn from one's peers. And I just want to very briefly describe this program. It involves, the first part of the program involves a three-person team which identifies an entrepreneurial lead, which is typically a graduate student that is the leader of the team, a technical lead, which is typically a faculty member, and then finally a mentor who understands the domain-specific knowledge of the area that is being developed and knows something about entrepreneurship. That program now has expanded to 3 different components. It continues to support these teams. It also supports what are called nodes, which provides regional support throughout the country, and it also supports sites, which gives an individual academic institution the tools to catalyze campus teams that can help lead to commercialization. And again, these programs are found distributed all throughout the country. Like the SBIR program, the ICOR program now, which started at the National Science Foundation, is found in 11 federal agencies that support this translational research and translational activities from basic research to potential commercialization. And it's been very successful in the 5 years that's led to a number of companies, a number of programs that have been eligible for SBIR, and quite a bit of venture capital has been raised from that. So let me simply conclude by saying that I hope what I've been able to do in this short presentation is give you an example of how government agencies in partnership with research-active universities can help provide the seed support and the translational research investment that can lead to potential commercialization. Thank you.